So here's why it's so stupid to try and be somebody that you're not. So I love Kurt Cobain. You know, Kurt Cobain's my hero and everything. For a long time I've tried to be like him. But here's the problem. Kurt Cobain, from interviews, I heard an interview where he basically talked about he mentioned that he masturbated, right? Now here's the thing. I haven't masturbated for about 2 months, and I plan to, keep going. Like not masturbate for a really long time. I don't have sex, so basically the fact of the matter is I don't ejaculate. I mean, I haven't ejaculated for like 2 months, and like I said, I plan on keep going with this. So the idea of trying to be like Kurt Cobain, there's a big difference between me and him, and one of the big differences is the fact that he masturbated, and I am in this position where I don't do it anymore, and I don't plan to do it anymore. I have my reasons why I don't do it. The truth of the matter is, the biggest reason why I don't do it, and this is dark, but I'm going to say it anyways, because when I do it, I've had, it just feels, my dick and balls feel really fragile, and, I just, it's hard for me to kind of just, be myself when I've masturbated, because it's like, I become like this shell of a person, this shell of a man, rather than this expressive, happy, full of life character. I become this, instead of being, somebody who's full of color and energy, like I've got to I feel like all I have to concern myself with is like protecting my dick and balls when I masturbate, because it just feels a lot more vulnerable, because it feels really fragile. So I don't plan on masturbating anymore. I don't really plan on having sex. I'd love to feel some tits and fuck women, but I don't want to come. I'd stop before I come, make her squirt, and so that's the big difference between me and Kurt. He masturbated, he ejaculated, he ejaculates. That's what. So if I'm looking at him and I'm going, how can I be as cool as him? How can I be as how can I be like him? How can I walk like him and talk like him? And how can I have these behaviors and mannerisms that he had? How can I have it? The fact of the matter is I can't have that, because you got to understand that when you masturbate, it really changes. It changes who you are. How can I explain? It changes you just feel different. You feel different to somebody who doesn't masturbate. So it's like, the way you move and everything's going to be, it was like natural for Kurt to move and do all that, because he masturbated. Whereas with me, because I don't plan on masturbating, and I haven't done it for like 2 months, it's like, I can't say stuff like, how can I walk and talk like him? Even when it comes to like vocal style, like the way he sings, the way he sang, I don't know. I think that, I've seen some videos of him where he's just screaming. There's one video in particular which I really like, where he just, I think it's like the start of a gig and he's just screaming. There's no music really playing. He's just messing around, like playing some sort of noise thing on his guitar and just screaming. And so like, I don't know, I just feel like, yeah, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to sound like that, but then I don't know. There's only so much you can do because maybe you could say, oh, you need this technique and this technique and this technique. But it's like, here's one thing. How recently was it that he masturbated before he did that? Before he screamed like that. Because if he masturbated, let's say the day before, the fact of the matter is somebody who masturbates, let's say somebody masturbates and they start singing or screaming, so somebody masturbates and then an hour later they start singing or screaming, there's going to be a quality to their voice that they're going to sound different to if, they didn't masturbate an hour before. It has an effect, right? So, and I don't know, I get the impression that, like, people, if you masturbate, I don't know, I just think, let's say you masturbate and then an hour later you start singing and screaming, I think your voice is going to sound cooler than somebody who doesn't masturbate. I'm not saying they're going to be, I'd rather be the guy who doesn't masturbate, because like I said, I don't want my dick and balls to feel fragile. But, I do feel that, I would rather be happy, and ultimately in the aftermath of masturbating, like, once you've cummed, it's, I don't enjoy my life as much as if I didn't do that, if I didn't masturbate, which is a big reason, it's the reason why I stopped it. If you're taking balls feel fragile after you masturbate, life isn't going to be that great compared to, if you just didn't masturbate in the first place. So, that's just something to bear in mind. When people say all this stuff about vocal technique, like this is how to sing and use this technique and everything, I'm not saying that stuff doesn't necessarily work, right? I've definitely screamed very well. Like I've got some good, when I didn't masturbate, so it can be done. You can still sound great, but it's just something to bear in mind that if you're a perfectionist like me and you're looking for the perfect sound, the best possible sound you can get from your voice, you got to understand that maybe because I like people who are cool, like Kurt Cobain, and like I said, I think that masturbating is a cool thing. I think it's a very stupid thing as well, but I think it's cool. But it's just something to bear in mind that, like, in order to be able to scream like he did, for example, in that video that I saw, you never know, maybe you would have to masturbate an hour before, and that's not something that I'm willing to do. But like I said, I don't know, maybe he didn't masturbate a day before, maybe he masturbated 2 months before he did that. But I don't know, most people masturbate quite a lot though, so it's I'm just getting the impression that he probably it wasn't too it was probably kind of recent that they masturbated, before he screamed like that. But I don't know, I could be completely wrong, and he could have maybe masturbated too much before, not as the last time he masturbated too much before he screamed like that, but but then again, it's like, I'm just, saying this. At the end of the day, it's like, this doesn't mean that you can't get a good voice, a good sound from your voice, and it still is kind of stupid, this comment, but it's there's some value to it, I guess. But I mean, at the same time, it's at the end of the day, if you scream and it sounds good, right? Whether you could scream better if you masturbated is like, yeah, maybe you could, but then at the same time, if you sounded great when you didn't masturbate anyway, then it would kind of just be weird, and it wouldn't really make too much sense. I wouldn't understand somebody who would say, okay, I need to masturbate to get even better, because it's just like, if like what you did was pretty fucking great, like it seemed perfect, it's just like, it was already perfect, or it was already the best, so, you know, you can't really, it's not something like you can't improve. Of course, you can always improve, but what you did was pretty fucking great anyway. So, but yeah, it's just an idea. But I do really wish I could scream like that in like that video. Like Kurt Cobain was just screaming. It just sounds so fucking good. It's just really annoying to me. Because I really have a strong desire to be able to scream like that, but I guess it's just very hard to. It's just very hard to do. Try my best here, but it's not easy. Alright, bye.